I'm back again with another episode of Contact Sheets, or what I'm calling Contact Sheets. So I have two rolls of Japanese Camera Hunter Streetpan 400, and went down in the city and threw a yellow filter on the front of this. And at f16, it ended up being super overcast. I was able to hit the sort of blurry speeds that I aim for, I guess you'd say. So, if you watch the first episode of this idea of showing me edited film, this is more my regular stuff, my blurry, impressionistic work. So, you get to see a full breadth of the misses, the hits, everything. So hope you enjoy this. But it was funny, this picture, as I was taking it, the guy on the right started moving away to create separation from the two of them, and as I said, as you can see, I nearly missed him. I still think it probably would have worked out better if he was closer together. It almost feels a little too far away. It sort of cuts out of the frame. I'll have to see. I'll have to see later if I wanna drop them, like cut them out and just leave the girl, woman, whatever. I'm a big fan of the Streetpan, Japanese Camera Hunter Streetpan. It's a really nice film. This set, these rolls may not be the best illustration from it, because like I said, it was this fall overcast day. It started raining as I was leaving, so it was super flat. But even then, I'm still able to get some nice contrast. I like that black, the black car, and get the people. So you'll see one of the things that I'll often do is shoot blind, where I'll literally be walking by somebody and have my camera on the side. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, like, this is a case where I can actually straighten this into like a regular image, but I like the fact that I caught the two people I wanted, and then I caught that person on the bottom, on the very bottom right. But I doubt I'll ever use that frame. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's a bad habit I developed, or just, one of those things where even though I take pictures in the street, I'm still a little terrified of the interactions on the street type deal, where I don't like, I haven't normally been able to, like, when someone's staring at you, still be able to raise the camera and take an image of them. Still feels weird. Here's another one I missed. I'm not exactly sure why these images ended up being so watery, especially down here. But it's kind of cool effect. And that's the kind of fun part of this style, is that you never know exactly what you're gonna get, because each image is a combination of your motion plus the motion of the individual in the frame, and then how that pairs together. I like how you see the two people, and then you see the almost ghost-like reflection in the glass. And it looks like the motion of the camera, that was maybe the original, or this where the camera ended up. Yeah, that worked out pretty well. These were developed in WD2D Plus Pyro developer I get from Photography Formulary. If you watched my previous episode of this idea, the third roll of Pan F was developed in the same developer. So here's a case where you sort of see you see where what I was aiming at, but it's almost not blurry enough. It's where the buildings are, relatively speaking, sharp, but there's not enough blur. It just feels soft. Or this feels far more interesting to me. There's another one of those shots where I shot blind. That actually worked. Something like that. This is a case where it feels like it could use a little more blur. You still know what's going on enough to figure it out. I don't know. the fun part of, or one of the things I've noticed is that over time, I'll end up changing my mind off images. There'll be images that I initially rejected because for not blurry enough, too blurry, let it fill in the blank. I guess that was all unnecessary. There we go. That's better. And I'll come back later and look at them and really enjoy it. This one worked out real well. So obviously they're doing some building work, so they have this scaffolding on this corner and shot through there. But you get I think that's a police car or a cab or something of that nature over there. So you get the numbers there. You know, the weird funny squigglies from the lights over there in the corner, and then the people walking across the intersection. Yeah, that worked out real well. This is one of those frames that probably would have worked better in color. That umbrella across the street was a pretty brightly colored umbrella, and that's what caught my attention. But one thing I learned over the time, over shooting a lot of stuff, is that is a little too far away to like really get. It looks kind of boring that way. So if, you know, because it's too far away, it's too small in the frame, so I waited till a car came by to get that big blur on the foreground. So if you could learn to stack sort of items on top of each other, it could sort of become a little more interesting. Here's one that's not only not blurry enough, but get this weird awkward height where I'm cutting the top off that pharmacy sign and then the top of all these road signs. Yeah, that if you want to say stacking items is something I learned from watching a John Free video. He's a documentary photographer from LA. I highly recommend, you know, looking his stuff up. It's really good. There's a video where he's just sitting on a bench looking through stacks of prints of his. I guess he made it in the darkroom, I think. And he explains sort of compositionally how, like, where they came from, or like how he built the images. And so he talks about where he'll find something on a street corner that's interesting, and then he'll wait for something else interesting to come into the frame with that to sort of pair it up. light squiggles that are in some of these frames are really interesting. I have no idea how I created that one. That one's like all over the place. And sometimes when you do blurry stuff, like, you end up with a mess like this. I'm not even sure exactly what's going on. So I see a guy, two people there, probably car. There's a road sign, another one, obviously buildings. Looks almost like they got water on the lens, which is possible since it started raining towards the end of it. That's another one of those, like, almost too blurry to figure out what's going on. This one kind of works, except for the angle's all goofy. Because I shot it blind and I didn't hold the camera straight. Jesus. Huh. I might be able to crop something interesting out of there, but probably not. You can sort of see the difference in, like, how much the contrast pops once different light conditions. It was sort of one of those cloudy days. It sort of had patches where there were a little more sun than others. This is all shot at the same aperture and same speed, but you get the same, you know, very different contrast levels and so forth. Oh. That's super simple. It kind of works. This is a little less blurry. You see a face there. It's kind of interesting. That one's one of those frames I might have to think about it. Not sure what that weird corner spot is, but yeah. You see the color and the tones they get out of that underside of that roof are really great. I love those deep grays like that. That was just a complete mess. This is one of those frames where I haven't figured out what to do with it. Because I like how close it is on these two ladies. That it almost obscures everything else. And that lady in black is almost straight up. With the lady to the left of her is like all janky, and then you see the building all weird, and then you see the curved. Yeah, this is one of those that my initial thought is I like it how it is, but I don't know. I don't know how much of my day as I spent or editing is spent trying to fix me blind shooting these frames, but yeah. I like Sorry about that. I like how you can just barely see the nose on there. Kind of creepy fun. Might work. This is the thing that drives me nuts, is when I cut off their feet. So you just have the people in the very bottom of the frame. Drives me nuts. When I do it. I sorry. Probably ruin more frames doing that than probably anything else. This is the sign at Red Terminal Market, which if you come to Philadelphia, I highly recommend going there. There's some awesome food. DeNick's pork sandwiches are in there, which in my opinion are the cheesesteak rival, but they don't get a lot the same press as cheesesteaks. Highly recommend it. There's some Amish bakeries, and there's an awesome donut shop in there. Here's another one where it didn't get blurry enough. See, I like the blur on this one, but I don't like how I framed it as well as I did the other one. Like, I prefer the framing on the other one. And this kind of worked how I wanted to. There's a Hard Rock Cafe in downtown Philadelphia, right on Market. So right in Terminals behind us. And the sign spins, as you imagine a Hard Rock Cafe to do. I knew that you could get the, if I got it spinning right, I could get the, like, where you see multiple of the sign. those where I wish I got more of her bag and more of that sign. Here's an example of me cutting feet off. Yeah, like there's nothing I could do with that. It just basically kneecapped everyone. Good old City Hall. This is a case where people are a little too far away from the action. Doesn't make it that interesting. That might have worked a little better with color film, so you can see a little difference between the people and the buildings. Here's another way. Oh, I guess I know where these frames are. Yeah, this building has these American flags that are not waving in the wind because it was super windy that day. So I think that's what I was trying to capture in that last. Yeah, the flags right there. Same street corner is pretty busy. It's sort of across the street from that Hard Rock, so there's always people moving to and fro. I love when I get these layers of people, some standing still so you get a more clear room. Others are moving, so you only get like a leg or part of a leg. Here's a Hard Rock again, but I cut people's legs off. Met a local photographer by the name of Andrew. He's been doing a portrait series of people. So we met up at coffee in La Colombe, which is in that right over there across from City Hall, and we were in this alley taking pictures. So I shot a few frames. Problem is I got his elbow too. This is one of those frames where you need that black in the building to be actually black. There. It's one of the frames where I like the general image, but such a wonky composure that it doesn't straighten out properly. I was trying to isolate that woman right there from the rest of the scene, but it kind of looks like just a pole from this distance. Though I do like how the sign cut off the the D in Dunkin' Donuts. That's kind of funny. And this is a perfect example of, like, you look through these frames and there's a lot of messes, there's a lot of bad frames, and then you get something like this. And this is what I love. See, bright white coat paired against black car. The guy's sort of looking at you. Bus, you can sort of make out like the city hall building. Everything works with this. finally get to an image where it looks almost too blurry to work. Yeah, these super flat days, light-wise, make it kind of hard. Definitely not the optimal conditions, but trying to create this work with a pinhole would have been a nightmare. It would have just been like one mushy mess after another. That one's a little too much of a mess, I think. Sort of figure out the person. I think that's City Hall, but this is a frame that I actually blind shot. I was walking past these people. Actually, a mom and two kids I could count. It's one of those times where if you look at it through most of the frames I blind shot, it's like, why am I even doing this? And you get to something like this, and it's like, oh, okay, that works. Another one where it cut off the ground. If you look at a lot of my work, you'll find this one particular intersection a lot, because I just love how you get the lines from the building echoed in the crosswalk. That's what it's called. And there's always tons of people walking across here. That nearly was perfect, but you can see that couple of people are like pretty blurry, and then you get this one lady over here. Might still work. It's right on the edge of the frame. This really works well because you have the larger gentleman in the foreground, and you have the across the street smaller lady, the car, buildings. That one really works well. It works. Okay, so where I was a little too far away, it's actually the same street corner as that shot I liked with the layered guys. At least I think so. Yeah, I missed that one. Got a lot of dust on this one. Holy crap. I really like this frame. I'll need to get rid of whatever get that black and sort of get this down a little bit. But yeah, I really like this frame. So there's two rolls. Japanese camera hunter, shot in Philadelphia with a yellow filter. Hope you enjoy. Let me know if you have any comments, ideas, suggestions. Thought it was useful, thought it was stupid. Maybe not tell me it's stupid, but you know. You know where to find me, johnwilkening.com. John Wilkening on pretty much everything. So, hit me up. Have a great one.